In a galaxy filled with strange and powerful alien races, there existed a small and intelligent species known as the Zephons. They were a unique kind, standing only a few inches tall, with skin that shimmered in different colors under light. The Zephons had big, curious eyes and delicate, nimble fingers that allowed them to build advanced technology. They were proud of their inventions, and in their hearts, they believed they had something to offer the galaxy. But there was one problem. No one else took them seriously. The larger alien races, with their tall, strong bodies and deep, booming voices, often laughed at the Zephons. They called them weak, fragile, and insignificant, and never invited them to important meetings or discussions. Whenever a Zephon ambassador would try to speak at a gathering, the bigger aliens would roll their eyes, chuckle, or simply ignore them. To the Zephons, it felt like they were invisible. This was difficult for the Zephons. Despite their size, they had created amazing technology, things like tiny energy sources, devices that could heal injuries, and even ships that could travel faster than many others in the galaxy. But no matter how much they achieved, no one seemed to notice. The Zephons felt frustrated and disheartened. They wanted to show the universe that being small didn't mean they were powerless. One day, a group of Zephon leaders gathered in a large, circular room made of smooth, blue crystal. They sat on tiny chairs around a table filled with miniature models of their creations. These were the smartest and most respected Zephons, each one skilled in technology, science, or strategy. At the head of the table was Ambassador Xylo, a wise Zephon with a calm voice and sharp mind. He had been to many alien meetings, only to return feeling defeated. "We cannot continue like this," Xylo began, looking around at his fellow leaders. "They think we are weak because we are small. They think we cannot fight, that we are no threat to anyone. But they are wrong." One of the younger Zephons, a bright engineer named Lyra, spoke up. "Ambassador Xylo, I agree. We have to make them see our worth. Perhaps we could show them our technology. Show them how advanced we are?" Xylo nodded. "Yes, but it's not just about showing our inventions. It's about making them respect us. They must see that we are strong, that we can protect ourselves." Just then, news arrived that sent a chill through the room. A message had come from the edges of Zephon territory. The Kroth Empire, a powerful and ruthless alien faction, was expanding its reach. The Kroth had already taken over many smaller planets, enslaving or wiping out their people. Now it seemed they had set their eyes on Zephon land. The leaders exchanged worried glances. The Zephons had little experience with war. They had always tried to solve problems with intelligence and diplomacy. But the Kroth were not interested in diplomacy. They were known for their cruelty and hunger for control. Lyra clenched her tiny fists. "The Kroth will not see us as weak," she said firmly. "We must do something." Xylo nodded thoughtfully. "Perhaps we need help," he said slowly. "I have heard stories of a species from a distant planet called Earth. They are known for their bravery and strength. They may be able to help us." The other Zephons listened closely. The humans from Earth were rumored to be fearless and strong. But would they help a small, almost forgotten species like the Zephons? They didn't know. "We have no other choice," Xylo said. "We will send a message to Earth, asking for their help. If they come, we will have a chance to stand against the Kroth. And maybe finally the galaxy will see that we are not as weak as they think." With hope and determination, the Zephons prepared their message. They knew it was a risk, but they had to try. For too long they had been ignored, laughed at, and underestimated. Now, with the threat of the Kroth upon them, they were ready to prove that even the smallest of beings could have the biggest of hearts. And maybe, with the right help, they could be stronger than anyone had ever imagined. The Zephons were anxious. They had never sent a message to Earth before, and they weren't even sure if humans would receive it. But with the Kroth Empire's army moving closer each day, they had no other choice. Ambassador Xylo sat in a small room filled with blinking lights, holograms, and communication devices. Beside him stood Lyra, the young engineer who had helped design the message they would send to the humans. She was nervous but determined. As Xylo looked around the room, he took a deep breath and then pressed a button to begin recording. His small face appeared on the screen, and his voice was steady but filled with urgency. "To the people of Earth," he began, "we are the Zephons, a peaceful and intelligent race. We are small, but we have always tried to live with kindness and respect for others. Now, however, we are in great danger. The Croth Empire, a powerful and ruthless force, is coming to conquer our world. We are asking for your help, for we believe that you are strong, brave, and fair. Please, if you receive this message, come to our aid. Together we may have a chance." He paused, his eyes filled with hope and worry, then ended the recording. Lyra quickly began transmitting it through space, using every frequency and technology they had. They knew it might take some time for the message to reach Earth. But now all they could do was wait. Days passed and the Zephans watched the skies, hoping for a sign. Every day reports came in that the Croth Empire was getting closer. They were capturing smaller planets one by one, showing no mercy. It was only a matter of time before the Croth reached Zephon territory. The people of Zephon grew more fearful, but Xylo continued to encourage them. He believed that help would come. Late one night, while the Zephons were asleep, Lyra stayed awake, staring at the communications screen, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. Suddenly, a faint signal appeared, a response from Earth. She sat up straight, heart pounding as she read the words that appeared on the screen. "Message received. Earth is coming." Lyra could hardly believe it. The humans had heard their call. She rushed to Xylo's quarters, waking him and the other leaders. They gathered around the screen, reading the message over and over as if they couldn't trust their eyes. The Zephans were overjoyed. Help was on the way. But soon excitement turned to nervousness. What would these humans be like? They had heard stories about Earth and its people, tales of human bravery and strength. Some said that humans were the fiercest fighters in the galaxy, willing to defend those in need. Others warned that humans could be wild and unpredictable, following their own path. Still, in this moment, all the Zephans cared about was that someone had listened to their plea. As the days passed, reports of the Croth Empire ships moving closer to Zephon territory continued to pour in. The people of Zephon prepared for the worst, gathering supplies, hiding their young, and making plans to defend their home with whatever they had. They were small, yes, but they were ready to fight if they had to. Finally, one morning, as the sun rose over the Zephon planet, a strange sight appeared in the sky. Hundreds of massive ships, shining like silver and steel, descended from the heavens. It was the human fleet, and it was unlike anything the Zephons had ever seen. The ships were enormous, each one many times the size of a Zephan building, and they were lined with weapons that glowed with a fierce energy. A message came from one of the ships, and Xylo quickly answered it. A human face appeared on the screen, a captain with a strong jaw, calm eyes, and a voice full of confidence. He introduced himself as Captain Reeve and explained that Earth had sent their finest fleet to help protect the Zephans. "We heard your call, and we are here to stand by you," Captain Reeve said, his voice steady and reassuring. "We will fight the Croth Empire together. You are not alone." Tears filled Xylo's eyes. For the first time, he felt a deep sense of relief and hope. The Zephans, who had been overlooked and mocked, were finally being treated with respect and kindness. With the human fleet by their side, they now believed they had a chance. As the human ships hovered over the Zephon city, the people of Zephon gathered below, cheering and waving in gratitude. They felt stronger and braver, knowing that they had such powerful allies. Together, the Zephons and humans would prepare to face the Croth Empire, proving that even the smallest beings could make a big difference with the right allies by their side. The Zephons watched in awe as the massive human fleet hovered above their planet. Never in their lives had they seen anything so powerful and overwhelming. These ships weren't just large, they were built like fortresses, with thick armor, rows of glowing weapons, and engines that roared softly, even from high above. The Zephons, who were used to being seen as insignificant, suddenly felt a wave of pride. Earth had sent this mighty force just for them. Ambassador Xylo and the other Zephon leaders were guided onto a human ship for a meeting. They were escorted by 2 human soldiers who were gigantic compared to the tiny Zephons, yet they handled the Zephons with respect and care, careful not to step too close or move too quickly. The Zephons were seated in a special room designed just for them, a small platform in the middle of the humans' large conference room, allowing them to see and be seen clearly. Captain Reeve entered the room. He was tall and strong, with an air of confidence that was both calming and inspiring. He looked at the Zephon leaders with a gentle smile. "Welcome aboard. I am Captain Reeve, and I am honored to lead the fleet that will help defend your planet. Xylo, though small in size, straightened proudly. "Thank you, Captain Reeve. We are grateful that you came. We have been underestimated by the galaxy for far too long, but now, with your help, we believe we can show them our strength." Reeve nodded. "Strength doesn't come from size. It comes from courage, intelligence, and heart. The Xiphons have all three, and that's why we're here. Together, we'll make sure the Croth Empire learns that they can't bully those who stand united." Captain Reeve and his team then showed the Xiphons around the ship, explaining their strategy. The human fleet had advanced weaponry and highly trained soldiers ready to face the Croth. But Reeve made it clear that this wasn't just about humans fighting the Croth, it was about defending the Xiphons' home. They would work together to protect what the Xiphons loved. Lyra, the young engineer, was fascinated. She asked question after question about the human technology, and the engineers happily explained everything. They showed her how their energy shields worked, how their weapons operated, and even some of the advanced navigation systems. Lyra's mind raced with ideas. If they survived this battle, she would use this knowledge to help improve Xiphon technology. As the Xiphons prepared to return to their planet, an alarm suddenly echoed through the ship. Red lights flashed, and the humans quickly moved into action. A voice came over the speaker. "Enemy ships detected. The Croth Empire has entered Xiphon territory." The Xiphon leaders froze. Their worst fear had come true. The Croth had arrived. Captain Reeve immediately took command, issuing orders with calm precision. He turned to Xylo and the other Xiphon leaders. "This is it. The Croth are here, but we're ready for them. Your people will be safe. Our fleet will intercept them before they reach the planet." Xylo nodded, his small face filled with determination. "We trust you, Captain. We will prepare our own defenses on the planet, but knowing that you are with us gives us courage." As the Xiphons returned to their city, they saw the human fleet move into formation above them. The human ships spread out, each one taking a strategic position to form a protective barrier around the planet. The Xiphons, watching from below, felt a new surge of hope. For the first time, they weren't alone. They had powerful allies, and they believed that together they could face any challenge. Lyra quickly gathered a group of Xiphon engineers and shared what she had learned. "We have to set up every defense we have. The humans will handle the main attack, but we can protect our city from any ships that break through their line." The Xiphons went to work, reinforcing shields, activating old defense systems, and preparing their technology for battle. Every Xiphon, young and old, joined in. They were ready to defend their home. High above, Captain Reeve watched as the Croth fleet approached. His face was calm, his eyes focused. "They're bigger than we expected," one of his officers muttered. Reeve only smiled. "Doesn't matter. They've underestimated us, just like they underestimated the Xiphons. Let's show them what we're made of." With a single command, the human fleet charged forward, their ships moving with perfect coordination. Energy beams lit up the sky, and explosions began to fill the space above Xiphon. The Croth ships, though massive, found themselves outmatched by the humans' speed and strategy. The battle had begun, and the galaxy was about to learn a lesson. Even the smallest and humblest allies could call upon the mightiest defenders when they needed it most. As the first Croth ships were forced to retreat, the Xiphons cheered from below. This was their moment, and they would fight alongside the humans to protect their world. For once, they were not tiny and powerless. They were Xiphons, and with their new allies, they were unstoppable. The sky above Xiphon turned into a storm of flashing lights and fire as the battle erupted. Human and Croth ships collided in a fierce clash, with beams of energy cutting through the dark space like lightning. The Xiphons watched in awe from below, their hearts pounding as they saw Earth's mighty fleet stand firm against the Croth Empire's attack. Captain Reeve's voice echoed through his ship. "Hold your positions! Protect the planet at all costs!" He watched as his crew moved with focus and precision, each member knowing exactly what to do. The humans had trained for moments like this, and they fought with skill and strength. The Croth ships, massive and heavily armed, advanced quickly. They fired powerful energy blasts, aiming to break through the human defenses. But the humans were ready, their ships dodging and returning fire with deadly accuracy. One Croth ship exploded in a flash of red and orange, and the Xiphons cheered from below, feeling a spark of hope. Back on the planet, Lyra and the Xiphon engineers were hard at work. They had set up every defense system they had, activating shields and preparing their own energy cannons. They knew that some Croth ships might slip through the human line, and they wanted to be ready. Lyra turned to her team, her voice steady and confident. "This is our home, and we will fight for it. The humans are giving everything to protect us. Let's show them that we're not helpless." Her team nodded, their small faces filled with determination as they finished setting up the last of their defenses. Suddenly, a smaller Croth ship broke through the human fleet and headed straight for Zipfon's capital city. The Xiphons on the ground saw it approaching and felt a moment of panic. The ship was fast and armed with powerful weapons. But before it could reach the city, one of the human ships, seeing the threat, swooped down and fired a well-aimed shot, destroying the Croth ship in midair. The Xiphons cheered again, their fears turning into admiration for their human allies. Captain Reeve saw the scene unfold on his monitor and nodded with satisfaction. "Good work," he said to his crew. "We won't let a single Croth ship touch the planet." As the battle continued, the Croth fleet began to weaken. The humans had a surprising advantage with their speed, strategy, and powerful weaponry. One by one, the Croth ships were forced to retreat or face destruction. Some attempted to regroup and attack again, but the human fleet held strong, blocking every attempt to reach the planet below. But just when it seemed that victory was close, the largest Croth battleship appeared. It was enormous, almost as big as a city and bristling with advanced weapons. Captain Reeve narrowed his eyes, knowing that this would be their toughest challenge yet. The Croth battleship fired a massive energy blast aimed directly at one of the human ships. The blast hit its target, and the human ship shook, sparks flying as it struggled to stay in the fight. Captain Reeve quickly ordered his fleet to surround the Croth battleship, hoping to divide its attention. On the ground, Lyra and the Xiphons watched in fear and admiration. "Come on, humans," she whispered. "You can do this." The human ships closed in on the Croth battleship, firing from all sides. The battleship tried to defend itself, but the humans were relentless. They targeted its engines, its weapons, and its weak points, refusing to let it gain the upper hand. Finally, after a fierce exchange of fire, the Croth battleship began to falter. It shook violently, flames bursting from its sides, and with a final desperate blast, it exploded in a brilliant flash of light. The Xiphons below cheered with all their might, their voices echoing through the city. The humans had done it. The Croth fleet was defeated. Captain Reeve took a deep breath, feeling a wave of relief. "We've done it, team," he said, his voice filled with pride. "The Xiphons are safe." On the ground, Xylo, Lyra, and the other Xiphons looked up at the sky, grateful beyond words. They knew they would never forget this day. The day when Earth's mightiest defenders had come to their aid and protected their world. The Xiphons, once seen as tiny and weak, now felt strong and proud, knowing that they were no longer alone in the galaxy. With the Croth Empire defeated, the human fleet prepared to return to Earth, leaving behind a legacy of courage and unity that the Xiphons would carry with them forever.